Hi, this is Michael and welcome to another episode in our series of modelers with their models. I'm here with BJ today. How you going, BJ?
I'm good, thank you very much.
No, that's good. That's good. And you've got a bit of a van here with a diorama kind of setting.
I have.
Tell us what this is.
This is a diorama built using the Ebro 24 scale Citroën H van, and it came as a food truck basically, and I've set it up so that it's on a cobblestone street to look like it's in France.
Yeah.
Added a figure, yes, and it's full of baked goods.
Lots of goodies in
so
there.
So it's a bakery van.
Yeah. So the figure, and there's a little dog here on the side.
Yes.
They didn't come with the kit?
No, so the figure and the dog came as a master box figure kit.
Yep, okay.
So we've got, there's a figure there, and then the dog.
Dog there.
So I can't remember the name. Each one of the master box figures have a name. So I built this in 2018. So it was one of the first models I built again after a bit of a hiatus, because I was practicing, doing a lot of radial control at the time.
Yep.
And this was made for Model Expo.
Okay.
And I entered it in the civil dioramas category.
Yep. How did it go?
It won.
Brilliant.
So it did really well, which really surprised me, and that gave me incentive to continue building.
Yeah, for sure.
And I picked a civil subject because there's often not a lot of civil dioramas there at all.
Yeah,
there's cars.
You do cars, but they're often sports cars or rally cars.
Yes,
a lot of the time, and then there's a lot of military models that you see.
Yes,
but this sort of strikes me as being very everyday.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting looking truck. It's a very old truck. I think it dates from the 50s.
Yep.
The female figure's got that sort of 50s vibe to her as well.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And particularly the hairstyle with the bow.
Yep.
I thought that worked really well.
It definitely does. Is that a French bulldog? I suspect it is too.
I would think so. Yeah. I don't know my dogs that well. But yeah.
No worries. Now let me ask about some of the detailing in that, because it's a very, very detailed kit. This one. There's some photo etch there.
There is a bit of photo etch. So there's a little bit of photo etch at the foot guide, I guess.
Yep.
On the front fender. The photo etch actually came with this Ebro kit.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that Ebro have actually stopped making plastic kits now.
Okay.
They do still make their die-cast stuff with Japanese cars. But yeah, so they've stopped production. The last version of this came out as actually a crepe van. Okay. So it had a different interior and different figures.
Yep.
But it was a basic same kit.
Speaking of the interiors, there's lots of detail inside there. There's not just the cabinet that you see, but on the back wall there's bottles and cans and even some cooking things like a microwave.
Yes,
did that all come with the kit too?
It did come with the kit, although the baked goods I actually made extras.
Right.
So there didn't seem like enough for me. Actually, I've got the roof that can be removed.
Oh, let's have a look at inside there.
Okay, so I take off the roof. Well, actually, the roof I put in an LED as well.
Yep, okay. And how's that activated, that LED?
So that has the loose connections here, which connect to this point on the car. And then the wires are actually hidden to go through the tyre.
Okay.
So when you look underneath...
And of course that's secured to the display base. Yep.
Yes. So
okay, I can see underneath there there's...
pinned down.
Yep, there's a switch there and a battery kit.
You see the screws?
Yes, that holds the vehicle in place.
Just make sure I don't drop anything. Yeah. Let me see. Let me do it this way, because that door is loose. If I just turn around this way, you might be able to see there's a battery.
Yep, you can see the battery and the switch. The switch is over here.
Yeah, so there's wires where it goes through the tyre.
Yep.
And each one of these screws is screwed onto a tyre.
Yes.
So that's never going to come off.
Yes.
Yeah, so that will light up the interior. And it really helps because when I first built this, it looked really dark on the inside, and an actual operating van, I would imagine, would have interior lighting.
Oh, for sure. And there's so much detail in that, you don't want to miss it by having it completely obscured.
No, that's right. And it's got some magazines, which I put on the front seat.
I saw those too. That's very clever.
They actually came with the kit as well.
And even on the dash, there's quite a lot of detail that's quite nicely done.
Oh, there's a door. So I've made the door loose so it could easily be taken off for transport.
Yep.
So it's got some musical wire pins in there.
Yeah.
So you can see we've got in there. So it's all in this French blue because I thought the French blue colour is naturally
Makes a lot of
French.
sense. Yeah.
And then the white for the roof is the racing white, which is that off-white.
Yeah. How did you paint it?
So it was all spray cans basically for the bodywork.
Yep.
At that stage, I didn't have an airbrush.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's brush painted.
Okay.
Yeah. So the wood finish, all the slats and such.
Yep.
You might be able to see the wood panelling at the back.
Yeah, you can see it there, and on this counter area too. Yeah.
Yes.
Wood panelling. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
And the base itself, the cobblestones.
Yes.
Again, that really completes a scene. It's not just on a flat plinth.
That's right.
It looks like it's a street scene.
Yes, and that was another challenge for me. That's the first time I've actually tried making a base like this. That's individual polystyrene bricks, which I've cut out.
So you've put those bricks in?
Individually laid. They're individually laid, and then I've made a mix of Tamir putty with lacquer thinner.
Yep.
Thin it down, brush it over the top to act a bit like a grouting and such.
Yep.
And done some dry pigments.
Yeah.
And then brush painted each individual stone so it's a slightly different tone.
That's fantastic. You did say about some of your baked goods being, some of them were in the kit and some of them weren't.
Yes, that's right.
So what was the process of creating those?
Well, they only gave you enough to perhaps half of that counter to be full. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So at the time I didn't have any silicon to copy.
Yeah.
So I used standard milliput,
Yep.
the yellow grey stuff.
Yep.
And I pressed the plastic shaped item into it until it created the shape. I pulled it out before it fully hardened.
Yeah.
And then when it was fully set, I used that as a mould. And then I just pressed some more milliput into a milliput mould and picked them out before they were fully cured.
Right. Okay.
So each one of these were pressed in.
If you'd let it dry in there, it probably would have stuck to it.
That's
So you
right.
had
I
to
wouldn't have
pull it
been
out
able to take it
before
out. Yes.
Okay.
So while it's still a little bit flexible, I pulled them out.
Yeah. So it's got that, it'll retain its shape.
Yes.
But it didn't need to perfectly because all baked goods are different.
No, that's right. Yeah. So they all bent a little bit.
That doesn't matter.
No, that's right.
In this instance, it's going to actually turn out really well.
That's right. Now the figure I modified slightly because her standard pose was the lower hand was actually meant to be holding onto the bonnet of a car.
Ah, okay.
And then this hand with the tray was actually holding onto a cigarette.
Ah.
It was a totally different shape.
And
so I've re-sculpted the hand.
I was going to say, what was, if the figure didn't come with the model, what was she holding before?
Yeah, that's right. So she had a cigarette. So I've re-sculpted it. So the tray came with the kit.
Yeah.
And I just added some croissants onto it.
Yeah.
And I cut the hand here and just reshaped it so it looked like she was supporting herself on the sandwich sign.
Yeah. Or even as she's walking past it, she's grabbing onto it or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I like the fact that it's a little bit dynamic. She's got that one leg just ever so fractionally in the air, like she's
that's
moving.
right. That's
it just
right.
adds to the life of the whole thing.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
So this was sort of like it's a new beginning. For my building.
For sure. Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Yeah. It was the first time I played around with weathering. So the washers and such.
Yeah, there is some weathering in that would. It's subtle. It's not right in your face. It still looks like it's been a well-maintained vehicle, if you like.
Yes, that's right. For its age, yes.
But vehicles will have a little bit of weathering on them if they're used in a natural environment. Again, it just adds life to the whole piece. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it really pushed me. So doing the LED thing, I mean, it's lucky that this is the sort of timing when I did this that you get these tiny little 1.5 mil, 2 mil LEDs.
Yeah.
And the great thing about these chip LEDs is it's a really broad light. So it lit the whole thing with just one single LED.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it, I guess. And this was my first introduction to the glue. What is it? The deluxe glue, which is for windows.
Yes.
What do they call it? Glue and glaze.
Yep.
And
what's the benefit of using that glue over, say, a regular super glue or a CA glue or something like that?
So, well, particularly for clear windows, it's not going to fog the area. And even if you get a little bit that's on the clear part, you can peel it off.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found that it's not just for clear parts that I like using it. Even these mirrors are attached with it.
Okay.
Because it has some give. So these bits would quite easily be knocked, right?
So
but
tiny
they've actually
bit
got
of flexibility.
Yeah, it's got some movement.
Yeah. Whereas if it was a more brittle curing glue,
Yes.
you could knock that and accidentally snap it.
That's
Potentially.
right. That's right. And building for display and also building for competitions, I find myself thinking about these sort of things to make sure that the model is actually strong enough to survive the journey.
That's right. You've got to factor in moving it, don't you?
Yes. Yes, that's right. And so there was a lot of things learned for me again.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. I really pushed myself with this one, and yeah, I'm quite proud.
That's excellent, BJ. That's wonderful.
So there you go.
That is BJ's food van on this episode of Modelers and Their Models. So thank you for showing off this one from
Thank you.
Roughly 2018.
18. Yes.
I nearly said 2008. That would make it quite a long time ago, 2018.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you. And thank you for joining us for this episode. Please have a look at our channel for more episodes like this. If you enjoyed this one, please like and consider subscribing to our channel as well. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments section below, and we will do our best to answer them. Thanks again, BJ.
Cheers, thank you.
No worries.
Alrighty.